Hello everyone, welcome to our course, College Algebra. I'm your instructor, Servando Pineda Carranza. You can just call me Servando. And I just want to make a video to introduce myself, let you know who I am, give you some background of where I came from, who's this instructor that you're going to have, and then give you an idea of what we're going to be doing this semester. Okay. So as I said, my name's Servando, and I was born in Mexico. I came to the Bay Area when I was a small kid, and I was pretty much raised here and stayed here the rest of my life. I'm now married to my wife Michelle, 11 years, and I have two daughters. My oldest one is named Zelda, after the video game, as you can tell in the back. Um, and my youngest one is named Selena, after the Latina queen, Selena Quintanilla. And I also have a dog named Link, who's very cute and might show up in some of the videos, or whenever we end up having office hours online or something like that. Um, and so a little bit of my academic background. After high school, I went to a community college in Hayward called Chabot. I started out not as a math major. I think I was a arts major, and then at the time I was a low income student, and so the classes were requiring me to buy a lot of things, and I didn't have a lot of money. Um, and so I went through a phase of different majors, um, and so it was pretty challenging when I started. I was first in my family to go to college. At the time, I was undocumented, and so I was trying to navigate my life and my family's life as well as my academic life. But eventually, I started tutoring mathematics, and then that's where I kind of got hooked on math, and ended up majoring in math. And so after I transferred to University of California, Berkeley, Cal, and I got my bachelor's degree there. After that, I took a year off. I was just kind of working, and then I was working for a nonprofit, and then math just kept talking to me, and eventually told me, "Hey, come back." And so I ended up going to graduate school at San Francisco State University. I loved my time there. Grad school was way more fun and more fulfilling than my undergrad experience. Um, After I got my master's, I ended up teaching a few classes at DVC. I fell in love with the students, the campus, the department is really awesome here. And so now I'm a full-time professor here at DVC, and I'm also very involved with a lot of kind of student support programs. I work a lot with the MESA program, with Puente. This year, I'm actually helping run our tutoring math center along with our senior coordinator there. And so if it comes to tutoring and math help and things like that, I'm your guy, okay? You can ask me questions. Um, and so my teaching philosophy is pretty much I want to empower my students through mathematics, which sounds weird for probably some of you who don't, really despise math. Um, but regardless of the grade that you get this semester, my goal is to give you a positive mathematical experience. Maybe see if there's some kind of connection to the subject that you can find. Um, and that way, moving forward, you end up leaving my class with at least some kind of positive experience with mathematics. Um, and so this semester, what we're going to be doing is college algebra, which focuses a lot on functions. And the idea behind that is that in life and in your experiences, you're gonna see that there's different quantities that are changing all over us, and there's patterns in how those quantities change. And so depending on how a quantity is changing, or decreasing, increasing or decreasing, um, the way that these quantities are changing is we use a function, which is kind of like some kind of model, mathematical model, to analyze how those things are changing. And depending on how they change, we get different kinds of functions. And so the idea behind this class is to study these different types of functions, because these changing quantities are things that you probably don't know, but you're experiencing, or you're going to be somehow interacting with them in your life. Um, and so there's linear functions, because they study something called a linear growth. Uh, you've probably heard of quadratic functions, which are a small family of a bigger family called polynomial functions. Um, we're going to study towards the end of the semester things called exponential functions and logarithmic functions. And so because there's so much to analyze in terms of how these things change, one way to help us better understand that change is a visual way of understanding it. And so we study what's called their graphs. And their graphs are another way of helping us understand that change. And because it's so important, we spend a lot of time on learning how to construct the graph of a particular function. And so that's just kind of like a big general idea of what we're going to be doing in this class. There's a lot of algebra involved. And the syllabus that I provided for you describes the structure of the class. And during our first course, we'll actually, I'll break that down a little bit more. But I just wanted to introduce myself, give you a taste of what we're going to be doing this semester. I'm really excited to meet all of you and work with you guys, and hopefully give you that positive mathematical experience that I really hope to give you. All right? Thanks, guys. Take care.